I'm DJ Dan Pelletier, and today I'd like to talk to you about all the things I learned about what makes a great wedding from having my own. Now, I've been in the wedding business since 2011, so almost 15 years now, and I am somebody who's always constantly trying to improve and get better, and I just had one of the best learning experiences about how to have a fantastic wedding by having one myself. I just got married. Hi, Caitlin. Love you. And being on the other side of the table, if you will, now being the groom, which was a wholly different experience from being a guest, which I've been a ton of times, or being a groomsman, which I've been before. I really got a different, unique experience that's given me some ideas and new philosophies about what I think should go into a wedding and how to have a great wedding. A lot of this was some things that I believed before that have now only been reinforced, as well as some other things that I kind of learned by accident, happy accidents, as our friend Bob Ross would say. And I want to run down, 10 lessons that I'd like to share with you as you start to put together your big day, whether it's a wedding or a bar bat mitzvah, a birthday party, or really any event. I think you could apply these things to. Number one, know what you want the results to be. Like when you close your eyes, what do you see? What sort of atmosphere do we have? What are people doing? What are people saying? What do you want people to feel? What is important to you? And by focusing on that, that's going to help drive all of the rest of your decisions. Caitlin and I really wanted to make sure that this was an event that was going to be fun for everybody. We wanted it to be a huge celebration of our love, our time together. We wanted there to be a great emphasis on all of the important people in our lives coming together to celebrate us. And we wanted to make sure that every moment was reflective of who we are, and we try to put as much personality into the day as possible. Way back when we got engaged and started planning the wedding, we made sure that we had a clear theme and vision for what we were looking for, and then that birthed all of our other choices that we made. Number two, hire the right people. We had an amazing vendor team. Starting with the people at Dexter's Inn, that they knew what they were doing. They knew what we were looking for. They were great to communicate with. The venue itself had everything we were looking for. Again, going back to point number one of having a clear vision in mind. We had mountains. We had a beautiful landscape. Caitlin was very much against having a barn as our setting, but we still wanted it to feel very New England, and that was incorporated in the inn. And we had so much customization and flexibility in the space that we found was really important to us. And then, me being in the DJing business, I was able to get us with a DJ that I knew would give us everything we were looking for with DJ Mike Benoit. Fantastic. He was able to take what we were looking for and give it to us in the most pure, concentrated form. Really able to incorporate all of our special songs, have a great event flow, be very friendly with the guests. And then from there, our caterers gave us exactly what we were looking for, custom sweets and eats. Because we are not stuffy people, and we feel that a lot of times at weddings, there's stuffy, pretentious food that you would never eat, but you're told, like, oh, it's a wedding, you've got to have fancy food. And we were like, that's ridiculous. We created a menu that we called Classy Comfort Food, and our guests were incredibly thankful for that, because they're like, wait, I'm not getting, dried chicken and half of a salad and all this stuff. No, they're getting chicken tenders and maple bourbon steak tips and mac and cheese and mashed potatoes with all of the stuff they could put on it. And not only were they like, yeah, this is a great meal, and it also came back to that theme of, this is very Dan and Caitlin. I love chicken tenders. She loves steak tips. We both love mashed potatoes. We both love mac and cheese. And then our photographer, Dan Farrell, incredible job. It can be hard trying to pick a photographer because a lot of times you only see the end results, and you have to start there again, coming back to vision and knowing what you want the end results to be. But then it's also important to find somebody who you connect with on a personal, vibes level. And Dan and his wife Kirsten were fantastic all day. They were they worked with us. They didn't make us take any photos we didn't want to, but they also gave us great ideas, and we were able to build off of things. They stayed to the entire night and captured everything from people getting ready for the day through the end of the night. We had fun with them. They were out there on the dance floor taking great pictures, not afraid to be part of the party, while not being intrusive, but everything already looks phenomenal and is really capturing those authentic moments. That was important to me, as well as giving us some really good of our post photos that was important to my fiance. And one of the other huge things that I loved is when we took our engagement shoot, my now daughter, who came with the fiance or with the wife, Mina, she's in middle school and is starting to get into photography, and that came up during the engagement shoot. And at the engagement shoot, Dan let Mina take a couple of our photos, and then he actually brought Mina her own old-fashioned camera that she got to use for the entire day and sent us all of the photos she took. And that was really nice that he was, went above and beyond. So again, hiring those right people that get you, understand you, are not going to try to force you into a box, but are going to be able to understand what it is you're looking for. Super important. And I want to be that DJ for you. So, if when we're chatting in beforehand, don't just, ask the standard questions to me. Let's see if we mesh on a personality level. I'm going to be able to give you such a better experience if we can connect on a level that is a little bit deeper. Thing number 3, communication. So important. I've always preached that the 2 things that make any project or company or anything like that go awry are big egos and poor communication. But it's super important that we're communicating to everybody, both the vendors as well as the wedding party and our parents and our guests. Lay out exactly what we're looking for. Have everything in a central place so that they know where to go and they know where they need to be, and it'll just make things so much nicer later in the day. And especially for us, where we were doing a lot of personalization to the venue itself. One of our good friends, Morgan, took extensive notes on what Caitlin was looking for the centerpieces, because we knew that while Caitlin and the bridesmaids were getting ready, she wouldn't be able to be under the tent and be part of the decorating. So by having those extensive notes, we were able to make it so when Caitlin and I walked in the tent later, because I had helped with the setup and Caitlin didn't, she was just like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. Because we were able to communicate these things through the notes and through creating Pinterest boards and spreadsheets and distributing that to the right people, everything went so much smoother. All right, now let's get into the wedding itself. And number 4 on the things that I really think made us have a great wedding and things that I took away was you always need to engage your guests at all times. Downtime is the worst. Always give them something to do. From the moment they arrive through the moment they leave, you should be thinking about, what are my guests going to be doing? When they first get there, you want to make sure that, you've got some good music playing that's setting the mood, and that's engaging them. That's setting some atmosphere. And then once we got to cocktail hour, not only did we have appetizers and drinks for people, but we also set out games, and that kept people engaged, having fun from all that time, as well as they could mingle and get to chat with people that they maybe hadn't seen in a while. And then once they were under the tent, there were additional things for them to do. We had our photo station where they could take pictures, as well as that was also serving as our photo guest book. We also had our button decorating station. We got engaged at Epcot, and I proposed by giving her one of Disney's famous happily ever after celebration pins. So we made not only our own Caitlin and Dan pins, but we also got a bunch of the I'm celebrating pins from Disney and encouraged people to write what they were celebrating for the day. So when you're planning your wedding, whether you could do a bride and groom crossword puzzle, you could do a bride and groom trivia quiz, a scavenger hunt, just something to keep people engaged. And then we immediately, once people are settled under the tent, introductions, first dance, they're watching that, they're happy and engaged. We went right into toasts, and we eat, and then we tried not to drag too long. We took a couple of more family photos, and then we got right into dances, and we kept things going all night long. We put out little QR codes with a link to a Google photos album. But this also created another way to engage our guests. That they were taking pictures and uploading them, and then we've got all these different perspectives throughout the night of different things that were happening, and it encouraged them to be loose and funny, because we're like, we want to see everybody's good time. We know we're not going to be able to be there for every moment. So if someone's capturing something, whether it's video or photo or whatnot, put it up there. Now we have over 900 candids in that folder that are going to look great up against our professional quality photos that our photographers taking. Making sure that your guests always have something to do. Super important. You want to keep everybody engaged all times. Next thing on my list, the little details matter. A lot of people, I think, came to the wedding and are like, oh, there's kind of a Disney theme with their first glance at some things. But then the more they started interacting with stuff, they saw that, again, the theme was us. And we tried to incorporate as much of our personality into everything as possible. So rather than just having a regular wedding program, me being a theater person, we had a wedding playbill. It was made to look like a playbill for one of the shows I direct. We had some fake ads in there for the ring bearer and the flower girls. We had headshots and bios for all of the members of the wedding party. And then when people went to the cocktail hour, Uno is Caitlin's favorite game, and there was a different type of Uno at every table, and they were themed Unos to things that we love. We had a Ted Lasso Uno, and we had a Barbie Uno. The groomsmen walked down the aisle to Back to the Future orchestral theme. That's something important to us because it was a Back to the Future quote in my dating profile that Caitlin misread that brought us together. And then I walked my mother down the aisle to the John Williams Superman theme because I love Superman. The recessional was also Back to the Future, Power of Love. Our cake cutting song was Lava from it's a Pixar short. Again, it's Caitlin's favorite Pixar short. It's an incredibly romantic movie about two volcanoes being in love. Our centerpieces were some of our favorite books. Bridgerton, we had theater books. Plays that we both really enjoy were all of the Under the Flowers that Caitlin spent so much time making. The flowers themselves were handmade by Caitlin and all of our friends and relatives, and each bouquet had in it an Epcot Park map. We had our backdrop that was a storybook very much reminiscent of the Disney Corporation. And again, these little details that people could see throughout the night, and some things that they didn't notice, again, kept them engaged and always having this sense of, ooh, what else did they personalize? Where else have they, expressed themselves? And then again, just created this atmosphere and really brought out ourselves and made this a unique, one-of-a-kind night. And as your wedding DJ, I'd love to help you brainstorm ways you could do that for your wedding. Now, this one's huge. And this is something that I really try to emphasize to people anyways. Make people feel important, especially the people that you've deemed important. Now, again, I've already talked about ways we did this. Our playbill explained in all of the bios what was everybody's connection to either Caitlin or I or both of us, and that again really made them feel special and seen. And having personalized introductions when people are coming out again is a great way to show them to all of the guests there, these are the most important people in our lives. So we wanted to make sure that we were celebrating not only our love, but the love that we are surrounded with. So the more ways that we could make our people feel important and thanked, I bought books for every one of my members of my groom's party that I really tried to put some thought into each one being reflective of something we share. It shows that I care, and I think just by bringing that love and happiness into the night made it an even better day. And we made sure that we went to every single guest and thanked them for being there, made sure they knew why they were there and how important they were to us, and that just created such a stronger atmosphere that really permeated into everything that we did. This next one, 7, was a challenge for me. Have surprises. Again, talking about our photo backdrop and all of the little details. The fact that we maybe teased a couple of them beforehand, but didn't share them too much, that every time people transitioned from one location to the other, really kept them ready and with a forward energy of, ooh, what's going to be the next thing that happened. And then one of our other big surprises was my new daughter and I, we had a special choreographed dance that is currently my #1 social media video of all time. It's blowing up my TikTok, it's blowing up my Instagram Reels, getting all of the views and all of the likes, and maybe only a handful of people knew that was going to happen, and even some people that knew that was going to happen didn't know what that dance was going to be, and everybody loved it. That's like the #1 thing people couldn't stop talking about. And then adding to that we didn't tell everybody ahead of time all of the little detail and all of the fun things, and that just again kept them anticipating and forward energy, and that is so important to creating a good atmosphere and a good time for everybody. So my next point of like giving people options of things to do. Again, not everybody is going to dance, or not everybody's going to dance to every song. So the fact that we also then took the games from Cocktail Hour and brought them down. We had the lawn games. We had our desserts. We had, the photo station with the props and different things people could do. That really kept everybody having fun, just by not trying to force everybody into one narrow, like, oh, you have to dance to have fun. If you're not dancing, get out. No, we kept so many guests that stayed through the entire night that maybe only danced to 1 or 2 songs because they had other things to do. They had people to talk to. They had games they could be playing, or they just enjoyed watching us out on the dance floor. And that, again, having those options, I think people really appreciated it. As well as, we asked to have a good variety of music. It wasn't just, okay, play Caitlin and Dan's favorite songs. In fact, I threw out a ton of my favorite music because I knew that wouldn't engage people. I mean, I love hair metal and I love show tunes. And we did not play that much hair metal, and I don't think we played too many show tunes either, because I knew that wasn't what my friends and family want. I was able to still find music that I loved and I wanted to hear, but also kept everybody going. And it's finding that right balance between music that you love, but also music that everybody else was going to love. Number 9, build and have new things to do and add things as you go. Now, this one was kind of by accident. So we had bought a supply kit of glow necklaces and light up tubes and goofy sunglasses and all of these props. And unfortunately, they got set aside and we forgot where they were until about 9 o'clock. But then we'd started dancing at like 8 o'clock. But then when we opened the box and took out all of the light up stuff, that like added a jolt of energy to the dance floor and gave everybody a huge second wind of like, ooh, something new to do, something that has now changed the game. And suddenly now we're all playing with these light up sticks and we're playing with the glasses. We're seeing what we can do with the glow sticks. So by not throwing everything all at once, I think if we'd had those at the beginning of the night, they would have lost their novelty earlier and probably would have ended up just all being dropped well before 9 o'clock when we'd started dancing in the 8 o'clock hour. But because like we added new things, and again throughout the day, whether the games, then adding the food, and then adding these things, so there was always something new, again keeps people engaged, keep people going, oh, what's coming next, and keeps their energy not only in the now but going forward, and that's going to create an even better day. And then the most important thing to having a successful wedding, especially as the groom, is just relax, have fun. And the way I kind of like to frame this, I'll say cast a wide net of expectations. And I kind of take this philosophy from when we go to our Disney parks. I am somebody that wants to try to cram as much in as possible when I'm at a wedding, going to a theme park, going to New York to do some sightseeing or whatnot. But I know that I'm a very ambitious person and I'm never going to be able to get everything on my list, and that's okay. I highly recommend, I come up with maybe 25 things that I really want to do. And then if I get half of that, I had a great time. Because I set my possible things that I wanted to do in a place where I knew I was never going to be able to do them, but I know that if I just could do most of them or a good amount of them, I'm happy. And that was with the wedding, you know. There might have been one song here or there that I thought of later. Oh, we should have played that song, or I wish I got to talk to this person more, or more time with a game or something like that. But I have no complaints. I can't sit here and say that this wasn't everything I dreamed of, and by all of the other steps that we took along the way made this happen. And now having that perspective, I can bring that to my clients. And I really do think in the position of the DJ is one of the linchpins to the successful wedding. Having been in your shoes, I have a much better understanding of what you're going through. And I really want to help you, give you the wedding of your dreams. I want to help you let your imagination run wild and find all of these ways that we can create your perfect night so you can be as happy as I was on my wedding day. And it doesn't even have to be your wedding. This could be your birthday. It could be your child's birthday. It could be your prom. It could be your car show. Whatever the event is, I'm going to put that much time and energy and effort into finding a wonderful way that we can make your events the events that people will talk about for years to come.